my name is Katie and this is Interactive Concept 2 and this is the iodine clock. So for this experiment I have two solutions. This is my solution A. So for solution A I took powdered vitamin C right here. This is a pure radiance vitamin C and you want about 2,000 milligrams. So for this one it was a quarter teaspoon per 650 milligrams. So I did a full teaspoon for my solution. And then we take iodine, and my iodine was a 10% solution. So I gave about 10 milliliters in my solution A of my iodine. And then I filled the rest with water. First, when I put my vitamin C in, I made sure it dissolved in the water just a little bit. And because it was already a powder, it kind of dissolved pretty well. So that stayed pretty nice. So this is my solution A. My solution B is this one here. And this one has cornstarch. So I used about 0.4 grams of cornstarch, really small amount. And hydrogen peroxide, 3%. So I also had the 3% hydrogen peroxide. I did about 150 milliliters of that. And then I filled the rest to the top with water right here. So that's my solution B. So what the experiment calls for is to mix the two solutions together. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start by putting my solution A, put a little bit in here. And how much did I put in there? That's 200 milliliters. So I'll put 200 milliliters of my solution B. Let me put it down so I can measure it well. Okay. So I put my 200 milliliters of B in there as well. Put a teeny bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to mix it up. And what should happen is the solution should turn a blue color. So hopefully that does happen. My ingredients are a little bit different than the experiment, and I also don't own a microwave, so heating it up to get a quicker reaction wasn't really a solution, but I'm stirring it here. So as I stir my solution, I'll explain what will be going on with all of these different ingredients. So what's going on here is we have competing reactions. We have two reactions going on here between solution A and solution B. So we have in the solution A, you have iodine with vitamin C turning into iodide. So once it turns into iodide, then it has two acidic protons. And then in our solution B, we have hydrogen peroxide, iodide, and acidic protons turn into iodine and water. So these reactions, eventually, when vitamin C is totally absorbed and gone, and when it runs out, put my spoon. So when vitamin C runs out, we have iodine, iodide turns into triiodide, and that goes to the starch. So it should turn into a blue starch complex. So I don't know if I have to wait a little bit longer here. I do know in the video he heated everything up in the microwave. Don't have a microwave, I just have a gas stove. But maybe stir it a little bit quicker. Temperature, as you increase your temperature, it'll be quicker in your reaction, and decrease in temperature will take longer. So this might be a bit cold, take a little bit longer. Also, if you increase the iodide and the hydrogen peroxide, it will also quicken the reaction. So it actually did not turn blue yet. Let's see if we can pour the rest in of each. Fill up this bottle. And then pour it back and forth. Pour some in here. Pour it back. Another thing is maybe mine didn't filter quite enough. I know he filtered a couple times. Mine never came out that clear. I'm not sure if it's my vitamin C. Well, it didn't turn blue. But essentially, these two competing reactions are going back and forth between, so you'll go from this clear color to a blue color, and that's really the hydrogen peroxide wanting to oxidize back, and then the vitamin C is actually wanting to reduce. So you have these two competing chemical reactions going on. So between the two, that's what would change the color. Pretty sure what might have gone wrong here is maybe my vitamin C is a little off. Maybe it's stronger. It's a bunch of like natural vitamin C extracts. Not sure if that makes a difference. I wouldn't think so because it's still ascorbic acid. My iodine solution, I can try and add a little bit more hydrogen peroxide to increase, see if that does anything here, since that does speed up the reaction. Temperature also, so heating it up would probably also help here. But essentially, we're really just looking at two reactions happening at the same time that go back and forth, changing iodine to iodide, to triiodide, and then the blue iodine starch complex, because we're left with that starch when vitamin C runs out on the reaction. Maybe I'll take another video and see if this works again, but that's the explanation on what should have happened with this interactive concept 2. And thank you. So I'm back, and that's because I sat here for about 5 minutes and my solution turned into this really nasty Coca-Cola color. So that tells me that the vitamin C actually ran out, and the iodine turned to iodide and then reacted to triiodide, and then turned to the starch, the blue iodine starch complex. And that tells me that the vitamin C completely ran out here. I guess if I add in vitamin C, maybe I can come back to the other reactions, to the two competing reactions, but still need to get it where it'll change on its own quickly like that. I wasn't able to get it to that point. So just came back to say that it did change. The vitamin C dissolved and became completely ran out rather. And thank you for watching my experiment.